Live from the 7th Hill Tap Room in Tallahassee, Florida, it's the Warchant.com Man Cave Show with your hosts, Warchant.com's Gene Williams and ESPN Tallahassee's Jeff Cameron.
Welcome to the Warchant Man Cave Show live from the 7th Hill Tap Room in Tallahassee on Appalachian Parkway, and joined by, as Ryan Kelly said, our own Jeff Cameron, ESPN Radio 97.9. I didn't get out last time, make sure 3 to 6, Monday through Friday.
That's correct.
Also,
thank you very much.
You miss them. I know you got the podcast, very easy to get all that
easy
stuff.
to find. Yeah, you can find it on iTunes. You can find it on our website, so you're good to go.
Yeah, and we're in a beautiful place here at the 7th Hill Tap Room, man. Beautiful. We're going to show you in a minute a little bit about that. I've got to thank our friends at Jimmy John's as well. Got our mini Jimmys out here, which are great for tailgating, which is going on this weekend.
I do want to reiterate.
Freaky fast.
This is a beautiful place.
Yeah, it really is.
It's got the smell, like the wood.
It's got a bar that you want to.
You want to hang out. It's a good place, yeah.
And it's got some fantastic beers we're going to show you in a minute. But JimmyJohns.com for all your tailgating catering needs. And Jeff, speaking of, let's walk over here a little bit.
I'm in.
And check this out. I'm excited for the next session, or beer session.
Okay.
Where we're going to have a really special beer that can put you on your butt.
Well, 11%. We'll do that.
Yeah. We're not going to give it away quite yet, but let's.
Right.
We got to have the card, and that's part of the thing here about this. You got to have this card, and you purchase that when you come up here. We got, let's we had the Proof last time. I know you're drinking the La La Land.
I'm drinking the La La Land from Proof, which is a local brewery.
Yeah, we love that.
Sport local.
We love that.
Yeah.
We got a little Oyster City. I don't know
Also
which
local.
Oyster City is this one. I'm going to fill this up. This is the Oyster City, the Appalach IPA, I believe.
Go for it.
A little of that.
I like
and this
it.
is one IPA. I'm down with this one, Jeff.
Yeah, you're usually kind of soft on the IPAs.
Yeah,
aren't
no.
you?
I'm 50-50 on the IPAs.
right.
I'm slowly getting there. Still don't want them crazy hot. Oh, look at that.
pour.
Look at that pour.
My
Oh,
God,
my goodness.
sir,
It's the
have you
Nitro
never-
IPA.
If you never bartended, that is.
All right. Oh, man.
You're getting
Rough
booed on
crowd
the
here.
pour, yeah.
Rough
All
crowd
right,
here. So that's how it works. So you don't want to leave the card here, because if you do that,
Others
some unscrupulous
will enjoy.
people will come up and take your ounces. So
Yeah, that's
a bad thing. We'll let that IPA settle down a little bit there before we drink it some more. But fun weekend, Jeff, at the Camping World Stadium.
So
I know you didn't make it down.
I did not make it down. We had a watch party and
Yeah.
had a good time. And anyhow, so tell me what you thought about the renovations and all that.
Well, it's definitely improved over the it was in
Yep.
a slum basically before, and
Sure.
it's gotten a little bit better there, a little nicer.
I hear the footing was terrible for the players. As an aside, Dalvin Cook and others had problems.
That's why Dalvin Cook didn't go up. It was the footing.
That's kind of the rumor, was that they
Really?
had
I didn't really- I
more
was
than
down
one
on the-
player.
I was down on the field. I didn't really.
You're calling BS, aren't you?
Yeah,
I
a
like
little
it.
bit.
All
I
right,
did a
we're
little bit
starting
on
a
that.
controversy.
Now,
here.
but
Here
here's
we
the
go.
thing: pregame. So of course, got into the tailgate. The good thing was tailgating started whenever. I mean, you show up first thing in the morning, you're there tailgating.
Yeah, you're good to go. Right?
So
no
there were-
restrictions on that.
There were no, which is a good thing, and it's also could be a negative
Oh,
thing,
I
because
think
there
I
were
know
some
where we're
challenges that an 8 p.m. kickoff, when you're out there at 9, 10 in the morning, there were some real challenges, and there are some people, and we're going to show
we're
some
gonna
photos
see
here.
Some of those.
They really didn't handle
there's
so
no
well.
maintaining going on
There's
there.
a guy trying to get to the game, just not
And-
really handling it so well.
Oh,
So you got
That's
to
a
work on that a
toughie.
little bit, and I know you're the master at this, at the
to
maintaining.
maintain, man, you got to pace yourself. You got to get some food in you. You got to hydrate. You got to have somebody you trust implicitly around you at all times
Yes.
to say, "Hey, Gene, I love you, buddy, but let's not have that beer
Let's
right now.
substitute a water.
Why don't
for
we
this
have a
one."
water?
Yeah.
Maybe get a sandwich, a Jimmy John's in us, and then move on from there."
I'll tell you one thing I did see, and we were out tailgating with my friends. And, we're doing,
Oh, my
we're
word, sir.
maintaining a little bit, and I saw the younger folks that
Yeah,
don't
it's
always
always
get
the
it so
youngins,
much.
yeah.
And this is at 2 in the afternoon.
Live and learn.
And a gentleman is one of those big tequila bottles, like the 1.75 liters, and guzzling it like this
Well,
at 2 in the
that's never-
afternoon. What are you doing, young man?
Hating your life.
There's no way. I mean, the kickoff's now for 6 hours.
There's some self-loathing going on there. I don't think that had much to do with tailgating. He doesn't like his life.
Now, I want to ask you, Jeff, because we've all had our weak moments in our younger days. Is there a game that maybe you over-imbibed in a little bit that you were not really? Because
Yeah.
we want to go watch football. So that's
Yeah.
one of the things I don't want to miss out on the game.
I want to remember the big games. So I never had a problem
Yeah.
against Miami. I never had a problem against Florida. I never had a problem in any of the games against ranked foes. Where I struggled back in the day, early 90s, might have been the games against Duke, teams like that, where the outcome really wasn't in question. Whether I remembered it or not didn't really matter.
There
It
wasn't
was
one
going to be
specific
a
game
40
that you
or
just
50.
said, I look back.
Duke, a couple
Duke,
times.
yeah, it's always either Duke.
Couple
Duke
times.
is Duke.
Duke is Duke. A couple times with Duke, I had some issues. There's some games against Duke where I remember the score only because I saw it the next day in the paper. That's all I'll
okay.
say.
There's
not
one,
proud of that, but
there's one game in my history, Jeff. When I win, I really don't remember much of the game, but I think I'm pretty good at excuse. I'm gonna see if you can figure it out. I'll give you a clue. 1993, and I'm with you. It wasn't. I'm gonna say
national championship season.
Well, it wasn't a national championship. It wasn't Florida, Miami.
No, I'm just saying that's the
But
season.
I'm saying there was a game. And there was a very good reason why it was 3 seats to the west.
Was it rain?
No, there was no rain.
Okay.
What was kind of an epic weekend in 1993?
An epic weekend in 1993.
Something
we
that
lost
affected FSU profoundly.
Notre Dame.
Yes, you're right. Sitting there at the old Hoggly Woggly with a
Oh,
buddy of mine outside the stadium,
at the Hoggly Woggly.
of course, and sitting there just getting hammered, watching BC upsetting Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And then after that, we had to throw some shots down after that victory because
then
you
the
knew FSU was back in the race.
And the beatdown they laid
Against
on
NC
NC
State,
State.
yeah.
On NC State. So that game.
I knew we won, but that's about all I remember.
And if I recall, and help me, because I too was celebrating that momentous occasion, I believe it was a cold night that game against NC State. I do remember.
Oh, I was good and warm that night.
Yeah, it was bitterly cold. Not for Gene, but it was cold. And I believe we might have dropped 70.
It was 60 or 70.
It's a
almost,
lot of
something
points,
ridiculous.
yeah,
You
see?
could tell the players were fired up for that one because they knew
they had a chance. Yeah,
it was there.
harkening back.
That came back.
Oh, at least I got it.
The other thing that struck me at the tailgating was ran into some Ole Miss fans, and for the most part they were nice enough, but very preppy, very buttoned down, a lot of bow ties.
Well, they've
and like,
got that
basically
southern
that's-
thing going on there.
What's
That's
up with
their-
that? I don't think that's a
It's
good
the
look
southern
for.
prep thing. I don't know. It's a weird. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
That's their
There's
whole
some-
deal.
That's just odd. I don't understand. But anyway, so that goes on. Now there's the other thing. I talked to some Ole Miss fans, and I saw
Wearing
some fans
rebel flags.
talk on the boards, and they said a lot of the Ole Miss fans were very shocked by the alcohol consumption of Florida State fans. And I don't know what I was thinking. I want to ask you, Jeff, are you proud or are you embarrassed by that comment?
It depends. It depends. Now, were these people?
We're gonna show some of the alcohol
you'll
consumption
see.
here.
Yeah. Oh,
Yep,
is
there's
that
some-
Florida State? Is
yeah,
that?
I
Yeah.
think so.
Okay. There we got some of that.
Yeah, there we
Oh,
go.
well,
yeah.
we've all been there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So I don't know,
Jim Carrey in the background.
part of me is kind of proud of that, and part of me is like, I don't know if we should be proud about that.
Well, if the behavior in the stands was abhorrent, then we shouldn't be proud of it.
Yeah,
If the
I've heard a
stand
few. There
behavior
was
was
some of that.
okay, then all right, so be it. We've been known to partake. I think.
But I mean, you think they're playing the LSU's, the Alabamas. Are we so much different than them in terms of the alcohol? We're not
No.
used to that?
I've been
we have
to
to be
away.
on the same level as them,
No,
right?
I've been to a lot of away games around the country, and not just Florida State games. I've been to games all over, and yeah, I mean, generally speaking, football fans are a little irresponsible.
Maybe we have
Just
a
a
problem
little
with those 8 p.m.
irresponsible.
kickoffs with early tailgating. Maybe
I
we're
will
just
tell you
because
this.
they do cut us off at Florida State usually. For
That's
that.
true, and nothing is worse than going to an NFL game. You want to talk about people who hate their life. Hammered by 10 a.m., stumbling into that stadium, rode hard and put up wet, pissed off at the world, especially if they're Bills fans. I'm telling you.
Oh, well, yeah, that goes back.
it's just
And I saw, it's funny you
tough
said that. I'm going
times.
to bring this out sometimes. I saw
Yeah.
the most drunk gifts I saw when I was going online looking were all Bills fans.
Oh, it's
amazing.
always- they're
They had like a
legendary.
weekly segment of like one of the newscasts where they take the drunken Bill fan of the week. And there's one guy like body slamming his buddy into
a table,
There's
yeah.
another one bounce his head off an RV.
Oh, I've seen way worse
But I
than
mean,
that.
you live in
There's like-
Buffalo. What do you expect? I mean,
there's
that's what you do.
A lot of sex going on in broad daylight while people are hammering tequila. It's it's an interesting time. That happens at South Carolina games as well because, you're in South Carolina.
No, that goes without
What are you
saying.
gonna do?
Yeah. All right, to the game itself, man. Another dramatic comeback. We've seen a lot of them last year. For
Too many,
FSU.
Gene, too many.
Were you a little worried at some? I mean, obviously you
You
always get
think?
worried,
Yeah.
but did you think at some point it was going to go? Wait a minute, there's too much talent here. There's some,
At 28-6, I thought, what in the hell is wrong
Yeah.
with our coaching staff to have this team look this ill-prepared? And then I was saying the opposite in the second half to see the domination and the adjustments made. It was the tale of two halves, truly. And I don't understand what was the problem with alignment in the first half. But yes, at 28-6, Gene, I was slightly
You're slight-
concerned.
just a
tinge
concern.
of concern, yes.
because I guess the reason why, if it would have happened in 2014, you're like, well, Jameis's over there.
Jameis
We're all
is gonna
good.
make plays.
We didn't know Francois could pull a Jameis in the second half.
He was beautiful, and watching him play, everything about him shows me that he's got a wondrous career ahead of him. And he, I think, more than anything else, went over a locker room. If there was any doubt, to make those throws, to get hit that hard as frequently as he did, and to hang in there in the pocket to make those plays.
It's the poise
Yeah,
that he has. He
that's
never got
rather remarkable.
shaken by any of that. I mean, had a couple iffy drives in the first half, but didn't phase them at all in that. What was the turning point when you thought, okay, FSU's got this?
Well, early in the third quarter, you could sense, first of all, that 9-play, 75-yard drive at the end of the second quarter was absolutely massive because you knew Florida State was getting the ball back. And it wasn't that they were having trouble moving the ball per se. They were shooting themselves in the foot with those penalties.
11 first half penalties.
It's insane. And we continue to have false starts in a way that I don't want to talk about. I'm going to get angry. But I will say, I think when they scored in the third quarter, I thought Ole Miss was in trouble. For as much as they dominated for a half, it's a one-score game.
Well, they scored, and I think what hit me when Walker got only the sack but the fumble, like, oh, you can just feel the
You can
momentum
sense
now.
that it was all
over,
turning.
yeah.
I think Ole Miss knew it too. You can see Hugh Freeze's face, like.
There's a shot of him too. I don't think we have
Yeah.
that. But you see him almost crying on the sideline in the third quarter. He knew it was coming.
I would have cried if my team had -7 yards total for the quarter and the other team had 200-plus yards, and it turned around a deficit into a lead. Yeah, that would have been tough. But I think he knew all along, just talent for talent, Florida State was the better team, and he was getting
stopped all the crazy mistakes. It was kind of
once they got lined up.
Now, it's another great comeback. I mean, technically, in terms of a comeback, let's say win, not comeback, because the choke and dunk was big. So, but in terms of comeback, it was a number one there. But I think there's some others that are probably a little bit better. I want to ask you about a couple of these games, Jeff, and see if you would rank them ahead or below this one.
Well, I'm going to tell you one's number one right now.
Well, we know that.
Georgia Tech.
Yeah, Georgia Tech. You have that.
Did you have it?
Georgia Tech right there. Georgia Tech, 1992.
Well, it was
Charlie Ward.
It's the unveiling of the Kentucky Derby offense. It's Charlie Ward. It's the coming out party. It's this is who we are. It's improbable. There's an onside kick involved. There's all these crazy things. So that's the one for me.
Yeah, and there were a couple in 2014. Several in 2014.
The Louisville game.
The Louisville game.
Yeah.
The Miami game. Just because it's Miami.
And I was on the 50 surrounded by Miami fans being yelled at when it's 16-0 or whatever it was, and we come back to win.
And you're just like, just
I
wait.
enjoyed that,
Yeah, so that was a good one. And then I also think, of course, the national championship. You got to because of what was on the line. You're down 21-3 in the first half.
Astonishingly.
So.
But Gene, you're talking about a bit of a trend that we need to.
I don't think we don't want to live through that. But I mean, the all-time best. And I mean, you said Georgia Tech beats the choke and doke. Now, if you just talk about comeback without the win period, but the choke and doke has to be number one.
Choke and doke because the fact that it was watching
and
Spurrier.
And they're going to show. I love the Spurrier bow handshake. We're going to show that here. Where Spurrier's just got that look in his eye, like, oh. No,
that's Jameis, obviously celebrated. That's a pretty good one.
No, there it is. Look at that look by Spurrier.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to talk to you, Bobby. My ego has just cost me this game. I can't fathom why I kept throwing, but I did. And then the Colsey kid made that pick, and damn it, man, have a good one. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's part of it, but I was in the stands with my dad in that game. And Zach Crockett scores, and we were on the verge of leaving. I'm not going to lie. We were on the verge of leaving. He scores, and my dad, I got to give him credit, goes, well, hang in there, son. Let's see what happens next. And I'm so glad that he did because then it happens. And by the way, it's a little bit like Woodstock now. There were 400,000 people apparently at that game, and they all stayed. Everybody stayed.
Wasn't the Dicker half up the line for those that left? Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it was nuts. It was, and you sensed that it was happening. I just didn't think that Steve would continue to throw the ball, but I underestimated.
He was a stubborn son of a bitch sometimes.
I underestimated the arrogance, and I mean, how could you do that? I mean, all the signs were there.
He'd go back a couple of years before that, keep kicking the Tamarick vein over and over. It's the stubbornness.
Yeah, well, and a lot of coaches are like that, but he was a special breed, man. Yeah. I mean, all you got to do is run the ball in the second half, and you win the game, and he wouldn't do it. So
where does Monday night's game rank to you? Is it the top?
I don't know.
I think about number 5 for me.
Yeah, it's down there because to me the Georgia Tech game, which we have the benefit of hindsight with that Georgia Tech game to know what it became, what it ends up being.
If FSU goes on to win a national championship this year, you might say.
Well, that's exactly right. Yeah, in due time we may end up saying, "Good Lord," because in a weird way, 2013 you have the BC game. And we talk about all these different things, and BC was in control of that game, and then Jameis Winston makes the improbable play down the sideline, makes the
and
throw.
my favorite was seeing Adazio on the sideline
well, he knew
we're done.
Yeah,
well, he get a Hail Mary before half.
And he says it as he's walking off the field. He's disgusted. He knows the game is totally turned. And a lot of us ignore that game, and a lot of people believe Florida State would have gone on to win it anyhow, and there's some merit to that. But just watching that, there was kind of a coming out for what for that guy had. You knew Jameis then. He had revealed itself. And so this game, there are some similarities in that I think DeAndre Francois showed you he's got the similar moxie. Mm-hmm. Listen, he's burying balls in the flat in the second quarter. He's given the wrong answer to Jimbo Fisher, who's given him this incredulous, what the hell did you just say to me? Look. he was worried he was about to rat trap.
And he's getting his ass beat, too. He's getting hit
taking
quite a
shot
lot,
after
too.
shot because his veteran players are letting him down, Big Rod had a terrible game, and Leonard is overmatched by Marquise Haynes, and so you have a lot of things going on
did
there.
not do very well.
Oh, he got blown up.
Too.
He was on roller skates, so you had, but to show the mental and physical toughness to hang in there.
Yeah, it was something. Hey, when we come back, and this is a long segment, that's good. We got some good stuff, Jeff. When we come back, we got to talk one last farewell to our friend Swag Kelly. He went out in style, both on and off the field. He crashed and burned. We're going to talk about that next on the Warchant Man Cave Show. Welcome back to the Warchant Man Cave Show. We are live from the Seven Hill Tap Room in Tallahassee, drinking incredible craft beer here. Join us, and of course our friends at Jimmy John's. You're coming out to the game, stop by, get your tailgating needs. JimmyJohns.com. Freaky good, freaky fast,
It's really well
freaky
done.
fresh.
Those
Minis.
The mini Jimmys.
If you're going to now if I'm getting subs, I'm tailgating. You're all set there. Because we talked about that last time. I hate the thing. By the end of that,
It's soggy.
halfway into the thing, it's soggy and everybody's hands have been all over them and you don't know what's going on there. And people pick them up, look at them,
You don't know
this
what's
one has
going
mail
on
on it,
there.
I'm putting it back. And
That
now
Jerry
you know
likes
you
to
get your
fondle
own.
himself before he grabs the Jimmy John's. He can't have this. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a good thing, man. Go get yourself some Jimmy John's for the game this weekend.
Yeah.
All right. I love that Swag Kelly gave us more material before he went out because we had some fun
He's
with
a
him.
gem.
And a guy that just, let's face it, first on the field,
Yeah.
melted down. DeMarcus Walker ate his lunch in the second half.
And I think if I'm him, I might, even though I have a history of having problems of insubordination, I might have had a comment or two for my coaching staff. We're going to give the ball to my running backs a total of 10 times.
But they can't run the football. They never. That was known going in.
You got to try, because what happens when you don't is exactly what this did. DeMarcus Walker moves inside and abuses the guard because he never has to respect the run.
He had something. There were some when you saw 44 just coming out, and it was like,
That's good.
Oh my gosh!
Like
All right.
Yeah, he's
Now,
not imminently.
but here's how we burn out off the field. We're going to talk about this little exchange. And first of all, Mia Khalifa. Of course, I have no idea who she was. We don't know, but we had to look this up because I saw this whole thing. But she's, let's say, an adult film.
She's
industry.
a porno star.
Okay, that's a nice way to put it. So
she's a
anyway,
porno star,
but she's also an avid, diehard FSU fan.
Good for her.
So she's got some good taste there, and I don't know about her career choices, but
I'm not here to judge, man.
Yeah,
Whatever.
we're not going to go there.
That's what you
But
do.
anyway, so she's active on the social media, and Chad Kelly, quarterback for Ole Miss, decides, hey, he's going to follow. She's going to follow him on Twitter. So he sees that as a little bit of an opening, like, hey, maybe
he thinks I got a chance.
maybe.
Thinks,
So
hey.
he starts DMing her, which is direct message for you at home that don't know what the whole DM thing is.
Not a good idea.
And he starts trying to say, let's hook up, baby.
Yeah, he's like,
and she responds, hey, I'm only following you so the intel I can get on the enemy.
She does at least tell him, listen,
Yeah.
I'm a Florida State fan. I have
Yeah.
no interest in having sex with you. I just want to know what you have to, what your personality's like
Yeah.
for the game. Sure.
So, of course, he spends his time, he's so wound up about this at halftime of the game when they've got the big lead, he spends time to actually DM her.
He did it at halftime?
Yes, this was at halftime. This came out.
Oh,
According to her,
sir.
now allegedly at halftime, and he said to her, ask if she's enjoying the show. So then she replies by saying, okay, quote unquote, weakness number one, can't resist urges to slide into DMs with girls out of his league.
Ouch. My God, sir.
Yes, and then it's not over though.
Well,
then it's
no,
not over
then
though.
they
Of
get
course,
their ass
she's got to rub a little
beaten.
salt in the wound at the end. She says, should have spent more time in your playbook and less time in my DMs. Now, totally embarrassed, Kelly deletes his Twitter account.
Good idea. Good idea. Sometimes you got to
Well
just account
played,
for your
young man.
losses and move along. Move along. If he had the social media ban like the team here
yes.
did, then this would not have been a problem.
But I mean, you pointed out we were off the air there for a minute. She's got a history of doing this. She's gonna anything you put privately, she's gonna put it out there.
She's gonna put you on
should
blast,
know that
kids.
going in.
Don't do it. Don't do it. I mean, I understand that there would be a moment where if Mia Khalifa were to, in some way, follow you on Twitter, not in some way, just actually follow you, then yeah, I mean, you might get excited, perhaps, heart palpitations and the like. But you got to know that if you're direct messaging her, she's going to embarrass you.
Really?
She's going to humiliate you. She's
So
done it time
what's
and
going to
again.
happen? You're going to end up having to delete all your social media stuff and hide an embarrassment.
Yeah,
You're not
didn't she
gonna,
do it? She did it to an NFL player, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we got the good stuff.
Oh, here we go. Now
all
it's
right,
time for
Hal.
our beer segment. The Seven Hill Tap Room. Hal is joining us here, and we are drinking some Marshall Zukov, an Imperial Stout. I'm going to let Hal tell us a little bit about it. Tell us a little bit about the Imperial Stout there.
Marshall Zukov's Imperial Stout is from Cigar City Brewing out of Tampa. It's one of their yearly releases, so they only do it one time a year. They release it every August. It's a high gravity, meaning high alcohol beer, 11.5%, but you can't really tell because covered up by rich, roasty malts. You get a lot of hints of espresso, chocolate, even a little bit of dark toffee.
My mouth is watering sitting here just hearing this.
I'm a coffee drinking fool, so right off the bat.
This beer is going to be perfect for you then. It's very robust, so if you like your coffee black especially,
I do.
This will be a great beer for you. You guys should try it.
We are going to try it here, and while we're testing this, why don't you tell us a little bit? I know Oscar Blues has a thing going on there with some charity events. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that while we're testing?
Oscar Blues, in addition to making awesome beer, distributing it nationwide, they recently they acquired Cigar City as another part of their catalog of amazing brews.
Jesus, that's good.
Not only do they make great beer, they also have a charitable side as well. They have a foundation called the Canned Aid Foundation, which not only donates money to victims of natural disasters, including the recent floods in Louisiana, they also can drinking water and distribute that around the country.
Fantastic.
They've already canned and distributed over 432,000 cans of water.
Sweet.
Just to help victims of floods and other natural disasters. They're actually helping us with an event this weekend, Friday through Sunday. If you order any beer from Cigar City or Oscar Blues, the foundation is going to match us dollar for dollar. Every beer that you order from those two companies, we're going to donate $1 to the flood relief, and then they're also going to donate $1 for every beer. So,
well, that is some good work.
Yes.
Oscar Blues, Cigar City Tap Room here. Cheers to you guys, helping the community out.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Hal.
Thank you, Hal, very much.
Appreciate that, buddy.
Thank you.
And that would be remiss if I didn't mention this weekend, if you're here. By the way, this is on my list. And also, I was
if it were
talked
cold
to Manny
outside,
too, and they
Gene?
said this is one thing. This is something you want to age too. They've got them in those they got them in the big bottles here. You buy them in the tap room, you age them apparently even better. I can't imagine it's even better than
Sitting
this.
around the fireplace with a cigar.
My goodness.
Get it, bud.
This is something. But they got a deal going on. You buy a food item, which is upstairs. Where this is located on Appalachia Parkway, the old Corner Pocket. You've been to Tallahassee, you know the Corner Pocket is. You can purchase a food item up there. You bring your receipt down here. You get 2 for 1 on crowlers.
2 for 1 crowlers.
So load up on some good stuff.
Crowlers are big, man, and you take them with you. They've got the can,
good stuff there. Yes, come on over, Hal.
I'll tell you. Also, with the purchase of those beers, not only is money going to be donated to that foundation, but for each individual beer you get, you're going to be entered in a raffle to win tickets to the sold-out Alabama Shakes show.
I'm going to that
later
concert.
This month.
All right.
Yeah, it's sold out, so if you don't have tickets yet, you can get a chance.
So the only way to get tickets is to buy a lot of beer here.
A lot of
what you're
Oscar
saying.
Blues
Yes.
and a lot of Cigar City beer.
Perfect.
And that gets you a chance.
And there's
to win
plenty of
those
good
tickets.
choices there.
For sure.
All right,
Thanks,
thank you,
guys.
Hal.
Thank you.
And they got a lot of good Cigar Cities here in Oscar Blues, so we should sit here and drink this. We can
I was
just
going to
end
say,
the
I don't
show,
know
man.
if we're done here, guys.
And this is good sipping beer. I mean,
Oh.
that's this is some really good stuff. All right, Jeff. Before we end this segment, we got to talk. Speaking of some of the disasters, had the hurricane here. You get all your power back not too long.
It took a while, but we did, and Sunday afternoon, Sunday early evening.
Okay. Well, that was really the only hurricane that can do any damage to Tallahassee or Florida State, as we know.
I knew you were going to segue this
FSU
into
has won
Miami.
7 in a row. Well, this was a Category 1. It did some damage. I guess there's a
true.
Category 0 that does no damage, and we know they're down in Coral Gables.
Right.
Now, we got Mark Richte's there. They're all excited down there, but don't you think they've got a
Because
ways
of the
to
win
go?
over Florida A&M? Oh, come on, guys.
Don't
You got a
you?
long ways to go yet. And they have, how much youth
And
on
they still have
defense
those guys
here?
as fans, so, I mean, there is that.
Oh, I love the weepy. Look at the weepy.
And there's going to be more of that. I mean, they're going to hit.
There'll
if
be
that
more of
happens
those
this year-
empty seats right there. is
And
what
there's
there'll be.
that's usually the home crowd there. That's what you see. The new stadium, they've got it all made up nice now.
The forlorn look on their faces, which has been kind of in permanence for about a decade, is a beautiful thing.
And we got to go back to not only do they have such a robust fan base, they have one of the best PR departments out there. And I just have to recycle.
Are you
this.
gonna?
I know I have to.
No! I knew you were gonna do it. I'm disappointed.
I still am.
No.
I mean, is that going to be the biggest PR blunder in the history of college sports?
It's hurt. I can't look at it, Jim.
You don't have to look at it, Jeff. I just want you to say,
ass
is this
right in our face? It's the wrong.
all right? Last thing, Jeff.
It's just not what.
While they're running those disturbing photos from the Miami photo shoot, noon game.
Oh, jeez.
We got another noon kickoff here.
Yeah.
I know you're not a fan of the noon kickoff.
I think it's 12:30, isn't it?
Well,
Yeah,
whatever. It's close enough. So that gives you a half hour more.
Well, I've gotten old, Gene, and so I will tell you I don't dislike it as much as I once did. I do not mind.
If there were
being
good
home.
college
If
games
there were
when
good-
it came back after, I'd be happy, but there's no good games on.
That is true, but I don't mind being home, grilling out, and having some delicious.
Some
Cigar
Marshall
City,
Zukov.
Marshall Zukov.
You know about
around
Marshall
the house.
Zukov, though? You know the history of this guy.
No.
He was a general despot. He killed like millions of innocent people.
Oh. Well, my
We're honoring
goodness.
him.
So let's make sure we name
No,
the
no,
beer
no.
after
I
him.
made that up. I have no idea who he is.
It's like, good Lord, Gene, how come I did not read about this? So as it is, I don't mind being home early. But you're right, it's not a good slate. It's not a good slate.
It's one of those, and there's a great primetime game. It's perfect for me. I got time to work, come home, grab
Let
some
me
food,
ask you
boom.
something. Over, under, I don't know, 65,000.
I think it'll be over. It's a home opener. I think there's some excitement.
People want to
going on.
see the
I
renovations.
think they will. Yeah. I think they'll be.
It's going to
I
be
think that'll
interesting.
happen.
I'm not entirely certain. Yeah.
No, I'll go with the over on that. All right, speaking of over-unders, we'll do our bets in the next segment.
Oh, I like
Here we're
doing
going to hit
that.
the shuffleboard, and you and I are big fans of the shuffleboard.
I love the
We'll do that.
shuffleboard. Yep.
Yep. Next on the Warchant Man Cave Show from the 7th Hill Tap Room.
Hello, Jimmy Johns.
Jimmy John's here.
What took you so long?
Jimmy John's, freaky fresh, freaky fast.
I love a man in uniform.
Welcome back to the Warchant Man Cave Show from the 7th Hill Tap Room in Tallahassee. Wonderful place to watch a game or just come drink some beers with your buddy, play a little pool, or a little shuffleboard.
Love me some
We got the
shuffleboard. Let's do
shuffleboard
this
table
thing.
here. Myself and Jeff Cameron are going to take part in that. I'll let Jeff
let me
fire
go?
this up first. While you're going, man, there are some great games this past weekend. Just an absolute.
One of the best opening weekends we've ever had, and
It's
some
a
of
fest
them
for the
really
college
lived up
football
to
fan.
it too. Yeah.
Now, what I'm telling you, what was your of all of them, other than Florida State, of course? What was your?
Well, Texas Notre Dame was insane.
Yeah.
I mean, Texas Notre Dame. How many times do people block an extra point to tie the game with under 5 minutes to play? That's crazy. Double overtime. That was my favorite. It started well Thursday night. I thought App State had a chance to win that game in overtime against Tennessee. But in terms of watching, teams that I thought were going to be good or not good and all that other stuff, I was happy to see Florida look terrible.
Well, that was the thing. I was watching that. We were at the Fergs, the Depot in Orlando. It had all the TVs
Mm-hmm.
going on. And they had a Florida game. One of them, in the fourth quarter, they're showing some of the fans in the stadium. They're like, it's 10-7. We're playing UMass. Who, by the way, out of all the FBS teams, I saw one of the rankings, they're 128 out of 128.
Well, they're trying to go down.
They should.
They don't want to stay
They'd
up.
be a mid-run
well, they don't have
Division
the
II
budget
team.
to do it either.
And Florida they were competitive with Florida for 3.5 quarters. That's
They were.
insane.
I think the reason, if you're a Florida fan, that you're upset, besides the fact that it's a 3-point
stink.
game in the fourth quarter, is that your quarterback looks an awful lot like the quarterback that you just got rid of. And that
Except he's not as mobile. He's about the same, but he's not as mobile.
He's got a weak arm. Everything is just Punch and Judy.
And they have to
Not
be
very-
looking, go. They got to see Francois and go, oh no.
Well, yeah, they got to
Florida
go.
State now has a quarterback
Why can't we
again.
get a guy that throws the ball like a man? Yes, I'm sure that's got to bother them. Yeah.
Oh man! So shuffleboard, we got this going. Jeff's
Oh,
going
I
to do it.
forgot
And this
this
is
is the fast end.
Yep,
It's the
yep.
fast
This
end.
is this is like a fast green. The sun's been out all day. It's cut real short, and
I
boom, that
forget,
ball's going to fly.
But and it's different on this table. From that side, it's a little bit slower. So
All right, my turn to go.
It
But
is
you
your
do
turn.
some picks.
All right,
here.
let's do
We'll
some picks. All right, Louisville's given 14.5 against Syracuse.
Some bad games this week.
Yeah,
by
but
the
I
way.
will say this. Syracuse, we'll scout this game a little bit because Louisville is an opponent right on the horizon. But the other thing is, I would say that Syracuse is trying to run 80 to 90 plays. They're trying to play up-tempo. So it'll be interesting. But I'll take Louisville and give the 14.5. I think Gene.
I don't like the hook.
I don't like the hook, no. I'm not going to actually bet this in the real life.
I don't know. I would go with Syracuse.
You're going to go with Cuse?
I'm going to go with Cuse.
You're going to lose.
I think
I'm gonna take
Louisville's going to
Louisville.
look ahead a little bit.
All right, I'll take Louisville. So we got difference there.
All right.
Penn State at Pitt. Pitt's given 6. Really?
Yeah. I'm sure you're going to be watching that game.
I don't know. I got. I'll take.
Pitt's got the running back. They got a good running back.
I'll take Penn State. I can't give
Really?
6 points with Pitt. Pitt looked terrible. I don't know. I don't like the game. I'm not going to bet it in real
No,
life.
there are no good games to bet on this weekend. There's no good games to
What do
watch.
We got after that? We got Wake and Duke.
We go, yeah.
Oh,
so.
come on, Gene. Wake and Duke is a
That is, well, yeah. I don't know Penn State and Pitt. You know what? I'll be an ACC homer on this one. I'll go ahead and go with Pitt on that one.
Oh, I think we got to get
Whatever.
through
Oh,
here.
I think Jeffrey.
Slow it
Oh,
down,
hit the.
baby.
Oh,
Stay there off the edge. Boom!
Oh, do we have
That's
is that
what we
leaning
do.
over the edge?
Do we have a
Terry?
hanger?
We do have a hanger.
We've got a
now,
hanger.
the rules of shuffleboard, if that stays, that's 4 points.
That's
it's not
huge,
staying, but it would be 4 points.
We'll see. I don't
All
know how
right,
accurate
so
you are.
Wake at Duke.
Okay.
We got
What's
5
the-
points. Dukey's only 5-point favorites.
5-point favorites for Duke. I'll take Duke and give the 5. Kentucky and Florida.
Block myself.
I'm going to take Kentucky getting 16.5 because I think they're in the game in the fourth quarter.
You got to think they're not good, but they got to be better than UMass, right?
Oh, in Florida, I mean, come
You
on.
don't have a lot of confidence in Del Rio,
No,
huh?
I don't.
That's really shocking.
Not very impressive. I'll take the 16.5.
All right, let's see. Well, Wake and Duke. Who'd you pick on that one? I didn't hear you.
Duke.
Duke. I'm going to go with Duke too. I'm surprised it's only 5 points. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know Wake is awful. So
Gene, I am
good.
about
You know what
the
he's doing
house.
there?
I am about
That
the
is a
house.
savvy move because that's the block.
Ooh, that is the block,
That's
buddy.
the
I'm
block.
rolling
That's
on
how
Big
you
River.
do. So what was the wait? Wake and Duke. What was the other one?
Kentucky getting 16.5. I'm taking that 16.5.
I can't go with Florida after they looked last week. I'm with you on that one.
Okay, now here's the game I'm interested by. Nice.
Oh.
Virginia Tech is getting 11.5 still after Tennessee looked like they did against App State. I know that's a sucker's bet. I'm going to take Virginia Tech. I can't trust the team. Tennessee didn't have a quarterback. They didn't have a quarterback last year. I know they're in love with that kid, but he's terrible. Give me Tech. I don't think they have a quarterback either. I'll take the points, though. That's double 11.5. 11.5 is a lot of points. Give me
All right,
Tech.
you roll next. So that's a tough one, man.
I
They
know.
look so bad against App State, but you know what? I don't think App State's that bad. I know Tennessee's your typical overrated SEC school, but I'm going to change up with you. I'm going to go with Tennessee on that one. I got to think they've got to bounce back. They can't have another awful game. Look at Jeff.
Tell me,
Dude, you are throwing darts. The problem is I have the last shot here, so there's no
Well, you
pressure.
got to break them up. You got to
There's
break
no
them up.
pressure on this
There you
last
go.
shot here. This is for the game.
I know.
Otherwise, if I don't hit this,
well, you're going to lose.
this is almost redemption for what happened to you and Tom when we skanked your ass.
That's true.
Back then, so.
Yeah, let's see what happens here.
Oh,
Yes.
I whiffed it.
And the
I whiffed it.
champion,
Oh, boy.
overwhelmingly so, gets it done.
Wow.
All right. Finally, Florida State giving
And they
36.
took the line off, but the last line I saw was 36 on
I'm
that
taking
one.
Florida State minus the 36. They win by 50 or more.
50.
Yeah.
Wow. I wouldn't say 50. I'll take, go ahead and throw those points. I'll go ahead and
Minus
take
36.
FSU in that one, but man, that's a lot of points there.
Thing of beauty. I think we're done, my friend. This
I
has
think
been a
we
good
are.
one.
This
I'm gonna
has been.
Partake in my
Oh,
really
my
good
Marshall
stout,
Zukov,
yeah.
the evil despot from Russia. We love him.
That you just made up. Yeah, it's well done. It's like I was like, I read about Pol Pot. I read about
Who is this
guy?
Marshall Zukov?
Yeah.
And then why are they honoring him at Cigar City?
Yeah,
you
that's
know? Why
terrible.
would they
It's a
do
poor
that?
choice.
Yeah, that's good
Yeah.
stuff. All right, Seven Hill Tap Room. Thank you, Jeff Cameron, ESPN
Thank you,
Radio,
Gene
97.9,
Williams.
3 to 6. And thank you to the Tap Room. Thank you, Jimmy Johns. Go to jimmyjohns.com for all your tailgating needs.
And happy Roberto Clemente Day, everybody.
Okay,
Celebrate.
I got you there. I'm Pirate
There you
fan.
go.
I'll do that.
There you
Good
go.
night, folks.